these men are married to women. Not like that, but mothers at that. And you can't understand. And these women behind these men can't tell these men, hey, you're wrong. You're wrong. You sat here and treated me like I was beneath your feet. Some dirt under your feet. Like you guys are so high and mighty. Let me tell you, the God I serve is the real judge. And he does justice. And one day we all will face the Almighty God. Steve and Dan, you have let money harden your heart, and you're sitting here treating human beings like yourself like they're beneath you. And I promise you, justice will come to you both. Justice will come to you both. And you're continuing to deceive people. You have not made any changes to your show. You're sitting here, you guys like to be praised and worshipped. You're not God. And God will show you his power. Okay? I'm just disgusted, and I'm like, dude, I really used to look up to this show. I believed everything these people put out. But this goes to show you, like, money will corrupt people to a whole nother level. These people serve the enemy, and they're here to cause destruction. And they're here and Steve is for sure a narcissist to the core. He has no empathy, no emotions. He doesn't give a shit. If you've seen his latest videos, he tries to Steve's hero moment. You're not a hero, dude. You're just a human person like the rest. A human person. You're a human being like the rest of us. You're no better. And understand, the way you got all the power and all the wealth or whatever you think, like that can all be gone. Dude, be humble. Be humble, Steve and Dan. You guys are grown, man. Cannot sit here and when you make mistakes, apologize. You guys are narcissists. You've gotten away with this for so long that you just think, I don't know, you're indestructible, but I promise you, I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna wait. And whether it's gonna take years, months, whatever, justice will come to both of you. This show is gonna be put to an end. You guys are not gonna sit here and keep destroying lives. So far,
anything that night, or it was just a recreational decision?
No, no. In fact, I knew. I'm 55 now, so that was a couple years ago. Not that, like, I'm not an alcoholic. I'm not any of those things. I never done a drug in my life. But I knew alcohol was becoming an issue in my life. Just drinking too much. Never drank before shows or anything like that. But on the weekends, man, I just drinking too much, and I just gave it up.
Yeah.
Well, that day, my kids were gone, my wife went to work, and it was like the championship day where the two AFC, NFC games, and I was going to have a card game at my house, and I bought alcohol for my friends to come over. Game fell apart, I was home alone, and I made a terrible decision to start drinking that day. I hadn't drank in over a year, and I got really messed up, and truthfully, I wish I could tell you where I was going, where I was coming from. I have no idea. I was dead drunk.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It said that you said also that you were dealing with bouts of depression at times.
Well, I have been for probably like the last 10 years. Really bad, crippling depression. Like when I first moved out here 10 years ago, the move from Chicago to Stanford, the pressure of the show. At that time, I only had 1 year left on my deal. You worry about a million things. So I mean, I weigh 250 now. Well, then I dropped under 200, which looked like I had cancer. And I've been battling it on and off. But the good thing is, since I've stopped drinking, no more depression.
Wow. See, that's interesting. So people have to be aware what they put in their body, because a lot of times that does affect your mental
I've
health.
never, since I've gone through this, and listen, man, if I could go back in time, I would never do it again. But I made a mistake, and and it is life. Like if you can't move past your mistakes, I regret it. But like you said, thank God I didn't hurt anybody else. I can deal with the fact that I just screwed myself up. But the truth of it is, I struggled with sleep, pressure, dealing with the show and everything of this nature, and I probably dealt with a lot of it with alcohol. Well, now that I gave up alcohol, I've never been happier in my life. I sleep great. So a lot of these things that caused me problems, it really cleared up since I stopped drinking.
Any therapy?
I did see a therapist for a while. I went and talked about things, and like a lot of issues were getting to me on the show. Like we deal with a lot of child molestation and really hard cases. Yesterday we did a show about this little kid that the father broke the 2-month-old baby's ribs. And baby ended up dying.
That's
It's just
so hard to have to.
so it get heavy at times, and so it's like everybody's talking to me and they want their problem solved, and I didn't even realize it. Well,
You don't got nobody to talk to.
right, like like everybody, like who's gonna help me, man?
I always say that. Who does the go-to person go
Right.
to?
So
Me being a victim of abuse, and it was more mental abuse, but I know how you can fear your abuser. You can think, oh my gosh, they're gonna come after my kids, and she is a mother, and they're gonna, part of me is like, I believe this girl. I do. I've just seen time and time again throughout history how people in power that have money or status, they abuse that, and they're out here raping or victimizing people because they know nobody's gonna believe them. The victims, right? They pick the weaker victims to abuse because they know nobody's gonna believe them. So I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna dismiss this girl. She sounds very professional. She speaks, I can relate to her. I don't know what it is. I can really relate to her.
Your girlfriends, right?
Mm-hmm.
Joey! Did you wear your Scooby-Doo underwear for the show? Did you get to see your episode of SpongeBob today?
Yeah.
Did you laugh?
Uh-huh.
Did you have a little snack with it? Did you drink your chocolate milk?
Hey, Steve.
You ate